back. So it is now June 4th, and as you can probably tell, I did not go to High Rocks, New York, as you know, the previous video kind of led to. And I'll talk about that a little bit more after we get this run knocked out this morning. But we are back to shift today, and if you're new here, my name is Paul Colson. I'm a firefighter, personal trainer, online fitness coach, husband, father, yeah, all that good stuff. So welcome in if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. But today we are back to shift and kind of back to that normal routine side of stuff, because I've been off for the last 2 or 3 weeks with, you know, one shift or two here and there. So overall, just been off and enjoying some time and working on the business and spending time with family and all that good stuff. But now that we're in June, we are officially in the Chicago Marathon prep. So that started yesterday with a 4.5 mile run and a strength workout today, 5 mile tempo. So it's going to be about a 0.75 warm up, just easy run, and then we're going to do 1K repeats. So 1K at around an 8:15 per mile, and then 1K at about a 7.45. So 7:45 pace. So 8:15, 7:45, repeat that 3 times, and then a half mile cool down, and then we're going to run it back here and get ready for work, because I have to take my stuff, get gas, and I have all my stuff moving to the new station that we're at. So if you've been following along, I've been at the busy station at my fire department for the last 4 months. We do 4-month rotations, and now we're heading out west to the slower station. So taking all my shit and bringing it out there. So again, talk about that stuff later. We're at crunch time. I'm gonna warm this stuff up, hit the tempos, 1Ks. Let's get it done. So before we get started, rocking the Transparent Labs running hat, my open air fit shocks, still mixing in the Saucony Speeds, my Garmin Phoenix 7, and that pretty much wraps it up. So let's go. You could almost get hit by a truck not paying attention at 5:30 in the morning. That was close. Kind of bullshit. Just got finished, just under the 5 mile mark. I don't even remember what I just showed. That was a lot harder than I was anticipating, but that's what happens when you take a week and a half off or so, and then try to get back into it and push as normal. Even the 4.5 mile easy run yesterday felt hard. So little by little, little by little. So on top of making the smoothies and stuff like that, I'm talking quiet because they're still kind of sleeping, but on top of the smoothies, we're gonna come back in and I'm going to do another 2 scoops of the Hydrate from Transparent Labs. So for those of you that don't know what's in it, I'll just talking segment on it. 1 gram of Tyrene, 500 milligrams of coconut water, 885 milligrams of minerals. This flavor is peach mango. A little sweeter, but the flavor profile is there. You have organic freeze-dried coconut water, potassium, sodium, Himalayan pink salt is what the sodium's coming through, and you have magnesium and calcium in there as well. So, I mean, it's loaded and as transparent as it gets, other than, you know, very few brands out there that are trying to stay as clean as possible. This is definitely my favorite by far. So 2 scoops of this is going to put me at 1,000 milligrams of sodium. I took 1,000 before the run. And because it's South Florida and it is, I'm tired of bending down. Because it's South Florida and it is now summertime and June, which is rainy, it means we are pretty much humid and sweating all day long, no matter the time of the day. So morning or night, doesn't really matter. And it was 5 o'clock in the morning when I got out there and I feel like I can't stop sweating. So we're gonna rehydrate with that. I'm gonna probably throw the greens in there as well, which stay tuned for that. End of June, there is a special offering from Transparent Labs for the greens product. So stay tuned for that. I'll talk about that in a bit. But we're gonna finish making the smoothies, get this prepped up, and I got about 20 minutes to get out of here. So I'll see you in the car. All right, so now that I can finally take a breath, we are about halfway, a little bit over halfway down to the new station, and I grossly underestimated how long it was gonna take. So stopped for a few minutes, got like a quarter tank of gas instead of a full tank of gas, and then we pushed it the rest of the way. So weather's shitty today, which just doesn't mean good news for the highways as far as calls go, but we'll see what happens when we get down there. Yeah, the run today was rough. I kind of should have more so anticipated the runs feeling shittier getting back into it, right? Like, I wasn't really training after Miami, doing a couple Miami High Rocks. I was doing a couple 5, 10Ks here and there. And then, you know, the week before when I got the news about the ticket, I really pushed tempo and started like kicking the running back up prior to thinking I was going to New York. And then as soon as New York didn't happen, I laid off the running again and just kind of took the week to just over a week off running, lifting in general, and I also was eating not so good and everything just kind of compounded. So, you know, last night being the end of it with the last piece of key lime pie from down in the Keys for my wife's birthday this past weekend. So yeah, needless to say, it was rough. It was a brutal push, and you know, sometimes I wish running was easier, and it's just not the sport for that, because it takes mental grit to be able to push through and actually train for running, right? Like, you can go out and have an easy run and go at your own pace and enjoy it and stop and do all those things, that's fine. But training for time, training for pace, training for races, it takes a level of grit, it takes a level of discipline, because there was countless times during that run where I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna finish 2 rounds of these 1Ks and I'm gonna chalk it up for, you know, what it is, and just running through the excuses in my mind to not go through with it. That being said, I did finish out on the 1Ks. I cut the ender short because the run's just shorter back to the house, and that was the least of my concerns. My concerns were getting the 1Ks done, but my overall pace is on the slower run Ks, so total of 6 1Ks, high tempo, low tempo for 3 rounds. I did the first one at an 8:12 per mile pace. The quicker round I did a 7:52 per mile pace. The second round in general I got 8:15, 7:47, and then the third round 8:24, and that last run was an 8:29. So obviously I did not get down to that slower, or that faster pace that I tried to hit in the beginning, a couple ones, but you know, at least I finished it out. It was a grind one way or another, and I'm just glad I got it done. So I got to prioritize stretching today. Definitely not going to do anything cardio oriented at the station when I hit a lift later today. Just keep it strictly lifting, because I'm putting 15 miles on my legs this week, and it's the first time I've done that in a little while. So, I mean, it hasn't been so far out of running completely to where, you know, I need to fully have a reset and ease back fully. But, you know, I just have to be mindful of how I'm pushing the tempos, the paces, and my body, just making sure I'm not overexerting to the point of injury. So, yeah. And I have a feeling this whole marathon prep is going to be tough. So summertime training was not exactly the best move on my part. Regardless, we're going to do it. We're going to push through it, and we're going to be better for it. So I'm going to finish this drive out to shift. I'll see you guys when I get there. Now we're kind of situated. Packs are on the truck, dive packs are set up, situated. Went through the truck to get familiarized, because, you know, different trucks at different stations, all the same baseline, but slightly have variations on where things are put and how crews have previously put them. So just familiarizing ourselves with that and just making sure everything was here and intact prior to starting the day. It's 8:38 now. So next step, since the truck is good and the gear is good, I'm gonna go find a gear locker, which I'll show you guys the gear room, and then I gotta find a locker in the inside where the bedrooms are, pick my bedroom, and then we're set up and ready to go. But I'll show you guys the gear locker since I gotta go that way anyways. Gear locker is a little smaller than usual. We got our hurricane waters now because it is currently hurricane season officially, so those are stashed away just in case we do get a hurricane. Then, you know, we get staffing for, you know, several days and everyone's kind of jam-packed into the station. I have not yet experienced that and pray that I don't, but it's always a possibility. So 10 is looking like my locker, the only empty one in here. We're going to claim that one and then go from there. So cool deal. Now we go inside, figure out the room situation. I gotta go get stuff in the truck. So all set up finally. Now I can get a snack and kind of start kicking it the rest of the day. I'm creating like an 8-week program for an Ironman. It's like the beginning block or phase of a buddy of mine's program for that. So that'll be a first for me because I have not run an Ironman. So we're bringing out the trusty Essentials of Strength and Conditioning by the NSCA, because I also have to dive back into studying for that. Because if you've been following along, I passed the first half back at the beginning of the year and missed the second half of the test by like 6 questions or less. So I have until December before that expires, so I gotta knock that out and pass that so we're good to go, because at this point I might as well just do it. So yeah, that's the game plan for the day and that workout later. So I'm gonna show you guys the other side, the living area and the gym as well. haven't been here in 8 months, so this new addition is nice to see. Brand new-ish looking Nordic track, and that means I can actually knock out some running, which is kind of perfect timing because none of the other stations have one that are that new. Got a hex bar in here, some power blocks, kettlebells, and then a full rack with all the weights, TRX attachments are somewhere, and barbells. So outside there's also more stuff like a battle row, more weights and dumbbells for outdoors, kind of throwing the weights down style stuff. There's also an assault bike, a rower, and I think that's it. So everything that we would need to knock out a workout while here. So today, again, keeping it strength oriented, that's part of something I gotta write later on. So yeah, we'll look forward to that and knocking out some work. All right, so it's been a minute since I checked in with you guys. Yeah, I got locked into writing an entire 8-week Ironman prep program for a buddy of mine and got that completed, sent that out, did some more client programming and just updates within the app and all that good stuff. So got all caught up with the clients and now we're good to go. So side note, if you're interested in coaching, online coaching, anything of the sort, training for a marathon, half marathon, all that good stuff, feel free to shoot me a DM or reach out on my website, paulcolsoncoaching.com. Instagram's at paulcolsoncoaching. You can just shoot me, a DM or, fill out the information on the website. If you're interested in coaching, everything's delivered through the Coach RX app. I do all custom programming as well as your macros. We do weekly check-ins, and I give 110% to you guys, and I expect the same thing in return. And those that put forth the effort see the best results. So that's my speech for that. So we did eat dinner already. I was gonna work out before, but again, I got locked into all that stuff. Was feeling hungry and needed some fuel before the workout. So nothing too crazy. We're gonna do a shoulder or an arms and core circuit, close grip bench press, easy bar curls, rollouts. That is the giant set number 1. And then offset high-low carries, which I think I'm just gonna do a high-low carry, not offset, and then tire hammers outside. So we're gonna knock that out. Quick 30-minute workout just to get something going today to loosen it up. And then we got the Panthers game, first game of the finals tonight. So let's get into it. That's a wrap. Got in, we got out, we got a good pump in. One of the guys joined me in it, so good times, good times. Run done, lift done, the day is done. We got our work done, so now it's time for the Panthers game and to wrap this thing up, and I will see you guys in the morning. Oh, P.S. Going back to being a firefighter,
We just did our station bids and crew bids for next year, well, cycle, which starts in October, and I got an engine bid. So dive station, engine firefighter off of the beautiful rescue, and back to doing firefighter stuff. So that's a win.
You just seem to have one single thing in mind. I'm canceling our date to save some time.
Alright, so we're going to quickly close this thing out. I am back at the coffee shop finishing the editing a week later. So my intentions were obviously to get this video up last week, but listen, family comes up, things come up. I've been kind of in a weird spin this month, so the goal is always to get it up at a weekly basis, but you know, life is going to happen, and I'm not going to go and, you know, sacrifice my own sanity and family time to get them up. Like, and I want the videos to be good, and I want you guys to enjoy them, and I don't want them to be rushed. So I apologize for not always being on a weekly basis. The goal is that, but you know, I got to do what I got to do, and my priority is, you know, getting to my clients and my family as well. So I hope you all understand that, and I hope you guys liked this episode. Obviously, it was a very much so, you know, station tour, day in the life. Obviously, we got the run and the workout in, and at this current point, I'm 2 weeks into my marathon prep for Chicago Marathon in October. So we'll talk about that a little bit more next week, and just kind of the process of going into that. I did run into a speed bump, you know, week 1 of that, and I'm still kind of feeling it today. So yeah, fun stuff. The running continues, the lifting continues, and you know, the journey continues. We got a lot packed in for the end of the year, and a lot hopefully I can bring into you guys. So as always, if you want coaching, paulcolsoncoaching.com. If you want to follow me along for more, you know, ins and the outs of the daily stuff, check out my Instagram at Paul Colson Coaching, and you know, always shoot me a DM, drop comments down below. I love answering and responding to you guys. You know, I get questions all the time, and I'm happy to answer, you know, as best as I can. So yeah, please like, subscribe, drop the comments, and you know, all that stuff really does support and help the channel, and helps me, you know, continue to grow and, you know, try to do more for you all. So yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys this week. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Losing our precious